let's just take a moment, right? We need a moment. We need a moment to truly treasure Jaden Daniels. We talked about him last week, right? He had a crazy game last week too. But like I told you, this is the guy that I was like, man, I wish that my team would go get. And he's played 4 games now, right, in the NFL. His average passer rating, it's crazy, 107.4.
What? Oh, good day, sir. Welcome back to another episode of the Think RBA podcast. I'm your boy, OK. Got my brother from another. Hey, Chico. Sir, are we doing the A already?
That's right.
I know what we're going to be talking about today. Oh, I already know.
Yeah.
Another close one. But we'll get to it. Before we get to that, I have a question for you, right? We're going to keep our theme going. Week 4, NFL, more excitement as always. There's a saying that goes, lucky number 17. Lucky number 17.
Okay.
However, there seems to be a little bit of some friction, some tension with that number in a certain organization that has their fans are known to be very I don't know, hostile is the right word here, but very
aggressive.
Aggressive. There you go.
Passionate.
There you go. Diplomatically correct. There you go. Passionate. Sir, I remember there was this Netflix special that came out, right, called Receiver. And there was a certain receiver who was seemed to be very disgruntled. And I'm referring to lucky number 17 again, number 17, Mr. Davante Adams. And it seems like that storyline has seeped into the following season now. Would that be a fair assessment of the situation, that not much has changed since then?
Well, I think it's a good assessment, but let's put some context around it.
Okay.
What hasn't changed is that they still don't have a competent quarterback around them. I mean, and that was the problem that led to some of the frustration last year. Look, by all accounts, Gardner Minshew is a good dude. Guys like him. But let's be real. He's not a top 15, 20 quarterback, right? Like, let's just call a spade while we're here, okay?
Okay.
Or keep it 100, like keep it a bug, right? He's not a top quarterback. And so I believe that the frustrations probably are continuing to compound, especially when, you're not getting the results, right? Like that loss that we talked about against Carolina. I mean, that's a huge blow. Like, you think that you're on the path to doing something, and then you take a blow and you lose that game. Despite it, they're still 2-2. I mean, it's not like a terrible place to be, but there's definitely something brewing behind the scenes with when it comes to your lucky or unlucky number 17, as you say.
Okay. When you say brewing behind the scenes, you mean with management?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the field, some issues, the field issues.
I think the on the field issues, like, again, if you're a top quarterback, right, like keep in mind, right, what did he go here for? He went there originally to play with Derek Carr, his old college quarterback. After one season, Carr is out. And then, it's just been more of the drama. A couple weeks ago, Antonio Pierce said, I think it was after the loss to Carolina, he said some guys made some business decisions today. And as an organization, we're going to have to make some business decisions moving forward. And people wondered and speculated about if that was about Davante. But then I saw some clips that may have been, based on some defensive players who pulled up on some tackles and let some things go that they shouldn't have. But then this past week, so Davante missed his first game as a Raider, right? So he missed the game with a hamstring injury. He was on the sidelines, but what was interesting was post game, he was asked, he being Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, was asked about 3 players. I think it was Max Crosby, somebody else, and Davante. And he referred to Crosby by name, and then he referred to Davante Adams by number 17. And that's definitely a little shade of disrespect there, right? But I think everything was amped up and escalated when it came across that, and this is crazy. I want to see what your take is on this, because I know how you are with social media. Antonio Pierce's head coach of the Raiders, right? Your boy, former New York Giants Super Bowl winner, Antonio Pierce, verified Instagram account, liked a post from Sports Illustrated that wondered whether Davante had played his last game with Las Vegas.
Ooh. I mean, at that point, the writing's on the wall, right? Read between the lines. Might be ready to pack your bags, start making some phone calls.
Can you imagine if there was a post? Can you imagine if there was a post? This is Hak's last day at such and such job, and your boss liked it.
Right. That's like, oh, really?
Like, damn.
But again, again, that's the world of sports, right? Where players find out via traditional media that they're about to be traded to so-and-so team. But I don't think this is any different.
So it's interesting you say that because Devontae was on, Kay Adams. She got the little thing going with Shams. So Devontae was on her show earlier today, Tuesday, as we're recording this, and she asked him about it. And Devontae said, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. Social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and wondering what's going on and reaching out. And then he said, all I can control is this talk we're having right here. And after we're done with all this, so I can go with all this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So definitely sounds like it's headed towards a divorce here very, very quickly.
Yes, agreed. But I do like that he answered it very professionally, right? They didn't air out any of their dirty laundry to the public. So it's just good. Let's end this amicably.
Right.
And be on our way. That's all, right? Wish you the best.
Right. Better question is, where's he going to go?
I don't know. What I know is that he needs a quarterback, right? He's looking for a quarterback. What do you think are some potential landing spots for him? Where would he be a great fit?
I've seen the Chiefs thrown out, which would be crazy, right? Like an embarrassment. Because so one of the other things that happened this weekend is the Chiefs wide receiver tore his ACL. So Patrick Mahomes.
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, ran into him. He's done. So maybe they look for a temporary replacement for him. The biggest one I've seen linked is the Jets, right? Because he played with Aaron Rodgers before.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yep.
I've seen the Bills too, which I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if the Bills need him per se because they're playing well other than this past game. You know where I would love for him to go?
Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Him and Drake London on the outside and Darnell Mooney and the slot. Oh, my goodness gracious. And that would be dangerous to watch.
Now, what if he lands on the Saints?
Oh, my God. I would be so mad.
Or the Bucks.
Yeah, the Saints, because Derek Carr, right? I mean, that's a good point. The Saints, but the problem is the Saints don't have any cap space to do that. The Saints have the worst cap situation in the NFL. So and the Bucks already have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I don't see how that happens. So if it's going to be in the South, I think we have the best opportunity for it.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised by the Jets, though.
Yeah, but he's not the same Aaron Rodgers, though, that he played with, right? There's also that part of it.
So, but I mean, that's still he can deliver Devontae Adams the ball. That's not.
That's true.
Because his connection right now with Garrett Wilson's just not there, and he is the same Aaron Rodgers because he's displaying that negativity on the field. He's getting mad. You can see it in his body language when the receivers don't run the right route, et cetera, et cetera. I heard Matt Ryan talking about it from the CBS, pregame or postgame or whatever. And he said his message, if he were Aaron Rodgers, would be to the receivers, you need to get on my page, not get on your page. You need to get on my page. So that's a bar right there.
That is a bar. Is that what he was telling some of the ATL people?
Oh, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all because he wasn't extremely vocal in the media, but he has some fire to him. Okay.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure, like you said, soon enough, right? We'll find out where Devontae's going to land. And then I'm sure the internet verse or the social media verse is going to blow up all over again. And run with it. So let's move on to some other news.
Okay.
I want to talk about Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my. Bro.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions, man, this team is just rolling from last season. But specifically Jared Goff with a perfect game. And then his head coach gives the ball away. You heard about that?
I did not hear about this one. It's very rarely you get me something that I haven't heard about.
You didn't hear about that one? I got you.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he had a perfect game. And then in the press conference, they tell his coach, and he's like, oh, now I feel terrible. I feel awful because I gave the ball away to somebody. So it's just like, come on, man.
I mean, at this point in Jared Goff's career, I don't think that matters.
They won the game, right? That was important, especially on that trick play.
I was gonna say, did you see his touchdown catch? That was crazy. Yeah. But while we're on the Lions, before you go off, can we just talk about one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Those black uniforms with the blue helmets are the coldest uniforms
bro,
in the
nice.
NFL. Bro,
those are nice.
Those are so clean. Those are icy.
Yeah.
Like that, the way that blue like pops with the black, yo. Those uniforms
almost
are
like
money.
Almost like the blue right here that pops. No.
I mean, I was like, when I first saw that they were going to wear them, I was like, yo.
Yeah, it was a
but
fire.
Like, let me see how it looks on TV, right? Fire, straight fire.
Now, whoever designed those, like, give them a raise, man, because those are nice. Those are nice.
100%.
So let's move on to a different news. This is more, I always ask you this question since you're the savant. Who's good and who's not, right? We should know by week 4. And your answer is, we don't know that yet. And I'm like, how do you not know? You're a month into the game. How do you not know that? But as of right now, one thing we do know is that who's not good. Because we have one winless team, right? The Jaguars. But my question is, how do we not know who's good? Because we have 2 undefeated teams. How do we not know this? How is that not validated? Why is that not blue check marked?
So, I mean, obviously Kansas City is Kansas City, right? Like, although all of their games have been pretty close, they continue to get helped by the refs, but that's another story for another day.
You're starting some stuff here, man.
But again, like, they're 4-0, so we'll give it to them. Minnesota, I mean, Minnesota's what they're doing is crazy right now. But other than that, when you look through the standings, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the 3 seed in the AFC. Do we expect that to continue? I don't know. The Ravens are like the 7 seed right now. The Commanders are the 3 seed in the NFC. In the NFC, in the top 7 that would make it, 3 teams from the NFC South, which is supposed to be the worst division of football, right? I think it's still a little bit too early. We start to see after these first 4 games, and we'll start to see a little bit of separation about whether teams are winning. Like the Commanders, 3-1. Are they 3-1? Are they a good 3-1? Or are they a 3-1 because they played the Giants, the Cardinals, the Bengals? Right. Bengals were playing bad at the time. So Minnesota, it's hard to argue, bro, because outside of the Giants, which we'll give them that, they played the 49ers, Texans, and Packers, all playoff teams from last year. And the Packers had Jordan Love return from injury. So, like, it's not even like they played the backup. And yeah, the game was 31-29, but I think it was 28-0 at halftime. So they had firm control of that game until the end. So, yeah, it's just like, we don't know.
So what you're saying is that's qualitative wins. It's a quality.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have a lot, especially in the NFC, there's a lot of 2-2 teams. A lot of 2-2 teams. So it's hard to know which one of those 2-2 teams is going to rise up versus those that are not. So
now I have a personal question. It's for my own education.
Okay.
At what point in the season can you tell if someone's good or not? If not week 4.
So what happens is that you break the season down into like quarters, right? So we're getting through we're coming up to about the end of the first quarter. Once you get through October, like that November, December timeframe is probably the most critical because that's when you want to be playing your best football. So even if you're, like let's say 3-5 and headed into headed into November, sorry. If you win those November, December games, next thing you know, you're 7 or let's just say 8-6, right? So you go on a little run, boom, now all of a sudden you're in playoffs. So like that can happen. That's why I said it's hard to really tell. Those November, December games are the most critical, right? The most critical of all the games. But I mean, like you can do the reason why I say it's always hard to tell, you can speculate, but you've got like, look at the Ravens, right? So the Ravens played Kansas City real tough. Then what did they do in the second game? They lost. I think that was the one they lost to Oakland. So they started 0-2. Then they barely beat the Cowboys, and the Raiders. So again, the Raiders, they lost to the Raiders, who got beaten by the Panthers, right? They barely beat the Cowboys, who the Cowboys have not been playing well. The Cowboys, who did they lose to? The Cowboys they got destroyed by the Saints, and then they lost to the Ravens. But then the Ravens went and destroyed the Bills, who were undefeated. Like destroyed them on Monday Night Football. Or Sunday Night Football. Sorry. So, like, who's good? Are the Ravens good? Is Oakland good? Is the Cowboys good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just in that little circle, we don't really know. I mean, the Ravens are probably still the Ravens, right?
Okay.
But, they went and demolished the Bills 35-10. So like that's why I say I think right now is, you can stack up some wins in September, October, and that's good, but then you want to be hitting your stride and winning games in November, December into January.
So basically halftime, when you hit that midpoint, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends for a lot of teams too on like when the bye week is, right? Because you want to go into the bye week on a positive so you can come out refreshed and continue on. And that's why I'm a fan of, I like my team to have the bye week in the middle of the season, right? So you get the first half of games and then you can refresh for the second half.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the early bye weeks. You get like the people have buys in week 5. You still got 12 more games to play. Right. I mean,
that's early.
That's tough, right? That's real early.
Yeah, and then too late wouldn't be good either because now you're in your stride and you want to kind of keep the momentum going. Maybe if you have some key injuries, you probably want to wait till they come back. That could be beneficial for a bye week. So basically, the midpoint is the time when you want to be playing your best football onward.
Yeah, I mean, once November hits, it's like, okay, now you got to get really locked in.
Which makes Thanksgiving football.
Yeah, if you're already rolling, it works. But if you're behind, that's when you really got to lock in. And okay, you win. Teams that win in November, December win championships. I'll tell you that.
Okay. All right, sir. Let's go back to where I kind of grill you and ask you these questions like who's the biggest this, worst that.
Let's do
Ready
it.
for that? All right.
Let's do it.
So this week's biggest winner. What do you have?
The biggest winner out of them all.
Yes, sir.
There's so many options, like, and I'm trying to be objective here. So I would say, I mean, honestly,
is it the team that's right here on your shirt?
No.
Huh?
I'm honestly, I'm gonna say the Commanders, bro. Like,
wow.
And here's why: they lost the first game of the season to Tampa. Right. And it's like, okay, well, Tampa, they're pretty good, right? They beat the Giants at home by 3. Okay. That's it. Division games are always close, right? It's the Commanders, it's the Giants. Expected. They won the game at home. Then they went to Cincinnati and they won. And then they went to Arizona and they won. But not only did they win, even in these games, like the first 2 games they put up 20 and 21. These last 2, 38 and 42. 42. They went into Arizona's home stadium, dropped 42 points and only gave up 14. Like,
that's crazy.
And again, are they good or, so I think their test is coming in 2 weeks because they got to go at Baltimore, which, is right up 95.
Yes, sir.
The 95 rivalry.
Yes, sir.
But that's going to be the test for them to say, okay, let's see what they're really made of. Can they go into Baltimore, win that game against a tough team, right? But I mean, you can't, it's hard to not give it to them when they put up the most points of the week on the road, right? Against a decent, I mean, the Cardinals are not, I mean, they're 1-3, but like, I don't know if they're horrible. Like, they got weapons. They got a solid defense. So Jaden Daniels is, we'll get to rookie performances. So let me stop.
No, I never thought I would ever hear Commanders and so much good come out of your mouth.
And you know what? It's a good shout out to our former coach, Dan Quinn, right? I'm glad he got a second chance. He was definitely he was a good coach. He was a player's coach. Some things went wrong, in Atlanta. It is what it is. It happens. But like, I'm glad he got a second chance. And I hope that they're not just off to a fast start and then they fizzle out. Just for him. Like, I hope for him that they're successful. Just not against us.
Not against us. I was hoping that my follow-up question, but you answered it. All right, so biggest loser.
Oh, my gosh. I might have to give a few of these. The Patriots.
Oh, man. You be like are you going to be that Floyd Mayweather L? That little meme, that gif he gives L's out like that?
Yeah, I'm going to hand out an L. The Patriots, the Browns, the Jaguars, which by the way, Jaguars almost won that game against Houston, and they let them back in and score in the fourth quarter. The Jets losing at home to the Broncos. I mean, my goodness. Who else? The Rams, although they got injuries, so and not too mad at that. The Giants, they just can't get L's all day. Yeah, we got there's a lot of L's to go around.
Wow. God, my man is handing out like an L necklace with all the different medallions.
I think for me, it's a tie. Like, truthfully, in all honesty, we expected the Patriots to not be good. It's a tie between the Jets and the Jags. Like, the Jags, I'll give it to the Jets because the Jags were on the road. They weren't at home. So, like, that's a little bit more understandable. The Jets, you're at home against the Broncos with Aaron Rodgers, all these weapons, this great defense that did well, held them to 10 points. Broncos won 10-9. So, like, how do you only put up 9 points offensively with all the weapons you have?
Well,
just pitiful.
They can fix that problem once they get Devontae Adams.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they already got Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, like all these guys. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Terrible.
All right. Unexpected performances on the good side. Let's do
the Ravens beating the Bills, but it's not because they beat the Bills. I expected they were going to beat the Bills at home, but 35-10. My goodness. I mean, they just laid
the smack down, as The Rock was saying.
I mean, they laid it on them all game and did not let up. And that's the thing. So I almost gave it to the Vikings again. Again, it was not 28-0. Correct myself. It was 28-7 at halftime. But they let Green Bay score 22 points in the fourth. Like that's not they almost got back in the game. So with that, I gotta give it to the Ravens because they started and they did not let off the gas all freaking game.
Okay. So what about the bad side, the flip side of that?
Unexpected performance?
Yep.
In a bad way?
Yep. Or not so good way.
I don't know if there were any this week. Really, I would say the only one I could see here is the Steelers, maybe, even though they were on the road, but to lose by 3 and Richardson got hurt and Flacco came in and Flacco still helped the Colts win the game. So like that's a tough one. That's a tough one to come back from. So, but I mean, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But I would say they were 3-0. And that was a game that they probably, if they're going to be a good team, that's a game you go win.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to, as you had mentioned earlier, some of the rookie expectations.
Yeah.
How did one rookie, obviously you mentioned, did really well. So I'm assuming he'll be part of the good.
We're coming to him right away.
Okay.
Let's just take a moment, right? We need a moment. We need a moment to truly treasure Jaden Daniels. We talked about him last week, right? He had a crazy game last week too. But like I told you, this was the guy that I was like, man, I wish that my team would go get. And he's played 4 games now, right, in the NFL. His average passer rating, it's crazy, 107.4.
What?
107.4.
Bro, wow.
Yeah, he only has 3 passing touchdowns, but he's got 4 rushing touchdowns.
So before you move forward, that number, what is like the standard number, and what is the how does that number so great?
So basically anything over a 90 is pretty good. I mean, it factors in a lot of different things: completion percentage, the yards, right? Because if you have a great completion percentage, but you're dumping it down in like 3-yard increments, like your passer rating is not going to be that high. Touchdowns, interceptions, sacks, etc. So it takes into a lot of factors and that come into play for that. But basically anything over a 90 and you're in the good range, anything over 100 and you're in a great range, and then obviously the higher up you get closer you get to 155, you're in the perfect range. But yeah, I mean, he had back-to-back games. He had a quarterback rating of 141 and then 96. The game before that, 99. First game of the season, 93. I mean, he hasn't had technically a bad game yet. And then his completion percentage is crazy too. His average is 82%. Anything over 70 is good. And he's at 82. And then this is crazy. It keeps getting better. So he started at 70, 79, 91, and 86. So it's gotten better over time. He was 26 of 30, 233 yards, a touchdown. He threw his first interception of the season. He had 8 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's got 7 touchdowns to 1 pick. He's balling.
Are we talking rookie of the year potentially?
Right now he is the leader for rookie of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even close right now.
So the Commanders went and got themselves the real deal.
I believe so. And but
remind us.
No, you go ahead. My bad.
So remind us what pick he was selected in.
Number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who passed on him?
The Bears for Caleb Williams and the Cardinals because they already had Kyler Murray for Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
I think it was. Maybe I'm getting them confused. I don't know. The draft. You know how, bro? Look, we're getting old. Okay. You know how long ago? I'm sorry. He was the number 2 pick. I got that.
2 pick. Got it. Okay.
So it was only Caleb Williams in front of him.
Caleb Williams. Got it. Okay.
And I think Marvin Harrison may have been pick 3. But anyway, it's been a while,
Sorry, man. I see that gray creeping in. You're joining the club. So on the flip side.
Yeah. I was going to say real quick, I was going to say real quick, the Bears are 2-2. Even though Caleb Williams is not playing his best, I mean, he has not shown yet to be a generational quarterback. Bears are 2-2. So they are at least getting to, a few wins. They beat the Titans and the Rams, but the Rams have a lot of injuries. So again, are they good or not good? I probably would lean towards not very good at the current time, but they're 2-2. Can't take that away.
Bro, there's one thing I've learned or I've seen throughout history, especially with this quarterback, the draft and all that. There is so much hype over the next generational quarterback. Every single year, there's a generational. The word generation and every single year don't match. I remember when Trevor Lawrence was coming up. Oh, my God. OMG. It was like the savior is here. Except they have very, very quickly moved on from it. Right. So we've got to calm down with that. The term generational, they really need to calm down with using that word.
Can we talk about who might be a generational wide receiver?
Sure. Sure.
And this is crazy because he's doing it on the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah. We talked about him last time as potential rookie of the year.
Bro, in the game on Thursday Night Football, because we recorded right after that game, 12 catches, 115 yards. So his stats, he's number 1 in receptions, number 2 in yards, tied for 3rd in touchdowns.
Wow. And then this
as
person
a rookie with Daniel Jones. Can you imagine Malik Neighbors? But can you imagine if he had a real quarterback?
Oh my God.
The Giants would be a whole different stratosphere because he's a game wrecker. He's a game fucking wrecker. Just a monster.
Well, here's what's going to happen. He's going to spend a couple of years there. They're going to build him up. He's going to blow up. And then we're going to trade him for a bag of chips and a soda can or some pop. Not even the real soda. We'll get it for some pop. Maybe a little leftover popcorn at the bottom of the barrel. And some Twizzlers.
I can't with
And then he's going to go to his...
It's going to be the black licorice Twizzlers too, not the...
Exactly. And then he's going to go to a team and he's going to ball out and he's going to win a chip. And it's going to be like, oh, well, thank you, Giants, for getting him ready for us. We appreciate it. The Giants are in the business of that.
They definitely are, because Saquon is probably the best running back in the league right now.
Correct. Until Christian McCaffrey comes back and steps in.
If he comes back, it's not looking good for him right now. But I will say this back to Neighbors. LSU, man, they're a wide receiver factory.
Oh, they are a factory.
Jamar Chase, Jay Jettas, Neighbors, OBJ,
yeah.
Bro, LSU might be the new wide receiver U.
No, for real. They're definitely, I don't know what it is that they figured out, but whatever they figured out, other schools need to go learn what they figured out. Because the way they're doing it is crazy. It's crazy. So let's move forward and we didn't do the flip side. Let's do the flip side of rookie expectations. Somebody who didn't meet expectations. Anyone come to mind, or just not one of those weeks?
I don't really think it was one of those weeks. There wasn't,
okay.
If anything, Caleb Williams won, but he's just not living up to the hype.
Generational. So he's not generational for now.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, got it.
We'll give him some time though.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I don't know if this is going to meet if this moment is going to meet your RBA moment team player of the week. And if it is, then we can go to that. If not, we can go back and do Falcon Frenzy.
No. Listen. You better give me my Falcon Frenzy every week.
But you want a separate segment on that. Got it.
I deserve it.
You do. This week they for sure do. So let's do the Falcon Frenzy. The floor is yours. Bask in the glory.
Bask in the glory. That is Younghoe Koo. Yes. Younghoe freaking Koo. I think that was his career long field goal.
Yeah, 58 yards.
58 yards with 2 seconds left. But bro, let me tell you. When I tell you, we had a handle of that game. It was a tough game. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was one of those tough divisional games that, like, the whole game, but we had control of that game, right? I mean, we only got down at one point, right? We scored the first touchdown, then they scored two, so it was like 14-7, and then we came back with a field goal and another touchdown, so we went into halftime at 17-14, and then we traded field goals in the third quarter, and then we got another field goal, so we were up by 6 points, and so like we had control of that through the second half up until the last minute, and when they got the ball and they went down there, Kamara scored with 1 minute left on the clock. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, but I had hope, right? I was like, there's no way we can't lose this game, right? Like, Kirk is going to drive us down the field. We have to. And he honestly, he did it. It was a big pass interference call. For some reason, these Saints fans want to act like it wasn't a real pass interference. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, dude got beat and he grabbed the shit out of Mooney. Like, you got to call that. And the refs got to call that. It's just, it's not a call you can let go. And so they can cry about it if they want. It was a legit pass interference.
Unless you're the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, but plus we had a Bijan Robinson screen pass touchdown called back on a really bad ticky tack call, really bad ticky tack. This pass interference at the end was not even ticky tack, like it was legit. But nonetheless, it was still like we were still deep in field goal range. The next 2-3 plays, like very very questionable. Like Kirk almost threw 2 picks, and I was like, I was like, why do they gotta do this to me every week? I'm like, look, if you wanna do something, just like, because I think that there was still something like 30 seconds left, just run the ball, get a couple of extra yards, go up, spike it, hit the field goal. Like, it's not like, don't overcomplicate it, right? But he dropped back 3 straight plays, and 2 of them were almost picked. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why is he doing it? And one of them, my brother-in-law was going crazy because he was like, if the Saints player had just let the Falcons, Darnell Mooney catch it, that's game, because he would have come down in bounds and it would have run the clock out. But instead, he hit the ball so he couldn't catch it. But like, if he would have just let that play out, that Saints would have won that game. So just very questionable decision making at that end, but despite it, Younghoe Koo came in the clutch. Falcons are 2-2, and we play on Thursday against the Bucks. Winner of that game will be first in the NFC South.
So this last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes that you just described, I felt like was a copy and paste repeat of a previous conversation.
Like, bro. I'm like, yo,
we had the game. I already knew what you were gonna say,
and then we did it, Like, I think I said to my sister and brother-in-law, we were watching a game with D, and I was like, yo, we can't just like win a game easily, right? You know what I mean? Like, every game has to be close, right? Even this season, right? Steelers 18-10, one score game. Eagles 22-21, win at the last second. Chiefs, we lose at the last second, 22-17. Saints, game winning field goal, 26-20. Like, bruh, our winning margin is like it's like 3 points.
But like, it always comes down to like, the end of the game though. It's like that, you're at the edge. I already know what edge of your seat, stressed out, what you're doing right now. That's it.
Yes, like I'm like, I just want to win a game easily.
I don't know.
I just want to win a game easily.
Bro, I don't know if that's in your cards, man.
like the Commanders, they just won a game 42-14. Why? I want to win a game 42-14, or the Ravens 35-10. I want to win a game 35-10.
That would be
Can I have that?
That's a Christmas wish right there.
I'm just saying, like, it's. I'm actually like, while we're talking about it, I'm looking last year and like I'm looking at our wins and
anything decisive.
We didn't win very much last year at all. So we won one game decisively, and that was against the Colts, 29-10.
Okay,
but other than that, every other game, 13-8. 24-15. We lost the game 9-7. Even our losses, 29-25, 31-28, 25-23. We won a game 16-13.
Bro,
we won a game 21-19. Like, we won a game 25-24.
You get the annual win, the annual blowout. That's it.
Like, come on. I know that like it's tough to win in the NFL. They say it is a cliche, but damn. But look, all I gotta say is I am so glad that Young Wei, and it's pronounced Young Wei, not Young Ho, Young Wei Koo is on my team. That's all I got to say about that.
Nah, for real. That was truly, that's an RBA moment. For real. Coming through the clutch with 2 seconds left.
So it was, but I have another RBA player. I have a player of the week.
So let's transition to it. I think I already know who it is.
Is it a local team?
Is the King?
The old man, King Henry.
King Henry.
Look, long live the King. There were a lot of rumors. About King Henry's demise. Oh, Tennessee, they don't need him anymore. They gave him to Baltimore. Oh, he's going to come in. I think even John Harbaugh said something about him, like basically not being an every down back, right? That's not what they brought him in to do. Bruh, 24 carries, 199, and a tutty with a long of 87. He scored a touchdown every game. He
set the record. I think he set the record for Baltimore, the longest run too.
Right. And these are so back-to-back games. So against Dallas, and again, back-to-back wins, you can see a correlation. So against Dallas, 25 for 151 and 2 touchdowns, 24, 199, 1 touchdown against Buffalo.
And you know what? I want to – go ahead.
No, I was just going to say King, Henry, old man Henry, whatever you want to call him, 24, 25 carries a game. That's a recipe for a dub right there.
For real, facts. And I think I saw something on social media where they talk about his regimen, right? Like his routine and how he gets like throughout the years, how he's gotten to get ready. Like we all see like the way, like lifting weights and pushing all this iron and all that. But I wondered, it was more impressive about his discipline, his day-to-day discipline, like how clean he eats. Like they were showing like he doesn't eat, such and such. He only eats in these parts of the day. And he has this like whole routine that he follows, which has allowed him to be as great as he is now. It's almost like that LeBron-esque thing, right? We all talk about his discipline and all that. He has a similar type of discipline with his work ethic. So, and those are like that's the recipe for success, which sets him up to do these things. So yeah, much respect to the King and long live the King for real. Facts.
Yes, sir.
Truly deserving of the RBA player.
Big time. Big time. So, he set the tone. What, second play of the game? First play of the game? Yeah. Set the tone with that 87-yarder.
Yes, sir. So what are you most excited about next week? What are you waiting for? I know it's bye week.
Besides the Falcons-Bucks on Thursday Night Football.
Right.
Winner takes the lead in the NFC South. My boy continue to talk joke about the Bucks. So I'm all here for, and again, games in Atlanta. I'm all here for another dub. Take the lead, go to 3-2.
So are we gonna figure out who's actually good or not between these two teams?
I think both of them are going to be good actually, but
okay.
But if we win that one, then you go to Carolina, and then you got the Seahawks at home. This is the chance. This is the spot where you can start to rattle off a few extra wins.
Okay. So you're more excited. You're excited about that?
I'm excited for any Falcons game. Let's not get it twisted now. Outside of that, I would say the only other game that's kind of like a game of the week caliber potentially, Ravens Bengals. Even though the Bengals record wise doesn't show it, but like it's a divisional game. The Bengals still got the weapons that they got. The Ravens still got the weapons that they got. Like I'm hopeful that should be like a game of the week, quality game. And then the other one that's a little bit more record wise would be the 3-1 Bills versus the 3-1 Texans. Like that should be a pretty good game.
Okay.
Other than that, there's really not. Saints Chiefs maybe on Monday Night Football next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll see. Time will tell, man. We'll be back at it. Sir, once again, off the real field, onto the fake field.
The fake
fantasy. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of great performances, which pushed some people, blew them up and really gave them a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a recap? What's going on?
So
I believe your boy's in number one.
We'll get there.
You know.
So to recap real quick, 'cause I know we only got a few more minutes. This was the week where, I'm playing my son, you're playing your son, and then my sister and her husband are playing each other. So it was we call it like super in the family, right?
Yes, sir.
Kind of week. I handle business with my game. My brother-in-law beat my sister. My sister, man, she got like half of her team injured. So she was like, look, if you want, a player to get injured, just put them on my fantasy team and they'll get injured. I mean, literally, she has
I saw
Anthony Richardson, who got injured in the middle of the game. Micah Parsons got injured in the middle of his game and got pulled out with 2 points. She's got Pacheco on IR. She's got Puka Nakua on IR. She's got McCaffrey on IR. Now, I did tell her some of it she brought on herself because she drafted Nick Chubb and TJ Hawkinson, who are both on the PUP list, although Chubb is supposedly coming back potentially this week. So maybe she'll get a little relief. But either way, everybody hurt for her.
Tell us what PUP is. Tell us what PUP.
Physically unable to play. You and your son, I mean, I don't know why you had to destroy him like that. That was pretty rough. 253 to 183.
You got to let him know.
That was a rough beating that you put down. I mean, I was a little bit more diplomatic in mine. I only beat him by 40. You decided to up it and go by 70. So okay. Yeah, he really had a rough game. It's crazy because even though I won and I was the second highest scorer of the week, I still had 48 points sitting on my bench, which in one player with Kenneth Walker, which is crazy. So now we're back to league standing. You are number 1 in the league currently. And then it's me, my brother-in-law, D, Tage. We're all 2-2. So you're 3-1. We're all 2-2. And my sister is 1-3. But you know what that means? We just don't know who's good yet. We don't know who's good or who's bad.
No, I think we have an idea.
That's the team. Although I will say that I'm in second place and I have by far the most points scored. And so that, I know last year we talked about it offline. Last year that didn't really matter for you, but that was big for me last year because it was the difference in matchups that allowed me to win the chip. So I'm going to continue to make sure that my team is the highest scoring team in the league.
I don't know how you do it, how you control that, but sure. Okay.
By making smart business decisions.
Like lucky number 17.
That's what, that's an interesting story. Yeah. Because I almost traded for him. And then he ended up sitting out. So I was like, whew, thank goodness I didn't do that.
Well, all right. All right, sir. So with that, anything else?
That's it. That's on to week 5.
All right. Week 5, bye week. And for now, we'll say bye to y'all. So deuces, Think RBA. Till next time, Think RBA.
Peace. Down. Peace.
Hey.